Hello and welcome to Children's Time. It's good to be with you again this week. This week we're going to continue to hear about some people that Jesus met. And today, my little helper here, Zach, is with me because he's actually named after the person we're going to hear about today who Jesus met. His name was Zacchaeus. And Zacchaeus was a tax collector, and he was also kind of short. Now, there's a song about Zacchaeus, and it goes something like, Zacchaeus was a wee little man, and a wee little man was he. And he climbed up high in a sycamore tree. And he did this so that he could see Jesus when Jesus came to town. Now, when my husband Tim and I went to adopt our dog, Zach here, we thought about what we should name him. And we realized that he too was a wee little man. So we thought it would be a good idea to name him Zacchaeus, or Zach for short. So Zach's going to be with me to talk about Zacchaeus today. First, we'll read the story from the Bible Growing in God's Love, a Story Bible, about the short man. The short man. Have you ever known someone whom nobody liked? Sometimes we don't like people who are different from us, different in how they speak or look or act. Jesus met someone like that. Jesus was walking on the way to Jerusalem with his disciples. To get there, they had to go through Jericho. Zacchaeus was a rich tax collector who lived there. No one in Jericho liked tax collectors. The people who lived there hated Zacchaeus because he worked for the Romans, who had taken over their land. The money they paid Zacchaeus went to the Romans. The tax collectors could take more money than they gave to the Romans and keep it for themselves. That's how they earned their living. But some tax collectors kept a lot for themselves. That's why the people didn't like or trust them. Zacchaeus heard that Jesus was on the way to Jericho. He wanted to see Jesus, so he went to the road where Jesus was coming. But lots of people were already there. Zacchaeus couldn't see a thing because he was very short. No one would let him through to the front. Then Zacchaeus had an idea. I'll climb up into a tree. I'll climb that sycamore tree. Jesus got to where Zacchaeus was. He looked up and said, Zacchaeus, what are you doing up there? Hurry and come down. I would like to come and see you in your house today. Zacchaeus climbed down from the tree and welcomed Jesus to his home. People saw this and began to whisper to one another. They said, Look, Jesus has gone to a sinner's house. Zacchaeus stopped and said to Jesus, Lord, I give half of what I own to the poor, and if I cheated anybody out of anything, I will pay them back more than I took. Jesus said, Zacchaeus is not a bad person. He understands what I have been teaching. He helps other people. He is a son of Abraham. It was hard for Zacchaeus because not a whole lot of people liked him. But he still wanted to go out and meet Jesus, to see what Jesus was all about. And so since he couldn't see because he was so short, he climbed up that tree to get a look at Jesus. And it must have been very exciting for him when Jesus called him down out of the tree to come and share a meal at Zacchaeus' house. Now, a lot of people didn't like Zacchaeus because of his job, because of what he did. But Zacchaeus, he still wanted to know Jesus. He still wanted to listen to what Jesus had to say. And it seems like Zacchaeus listened to Jesus and lived in the way that Jesus taught. To give to the poor. To live an honest life and not take more than what he needed to live on. That he worked to help other people. Jesus reaches out to all different kinds of people. To people that sometimes society or our culture doesn't like. To Jesus, every human being is made in the image of God and deserves to be loved and cared for. We can listen to Jesus' teaching about that, and we can apply that to our own lives. We too can see everyone we meet as someone made in the image of God, as someone who deserves to be loved, to be shown compassion, to be cared for. We too can reach out to people who might not be liked by everyone. We can show God's love to those who need to hear that they're loved. We can be the hands and feet and voice of Jesus, reaching out to those who need to hear that they're loved, who need to know that they are valued and that they're important. And we can hear that from Jesus too, that no matter how big or small we are loved deeply by Jesus. Jesus wants to be a part of our lives. And Jesus calls us to share that love and care with everyone that we meet. Will you pray with me? Dear God, thank you for loving us and caring for us. Thank you that you love and care for all people. Thank you for reaching out to us and letting us know that we're special and important to you. Help us to show your love and care with all those we meet. Amen. Thank you for joining Zach and I this week on Children's Time, and I'll see you again next week.